Welcome to our next stop of our two-a-days for Big Z Sports. Joe Geckler, Adam Soweski on the Hill in Sugar Creek. And Adam, always fun to come out here to the Hill to talk some Garaway football and see the coaches and the players. And, they're out here working hard and, getting ready for the season. But, coming out to the Hill, the fantastic facility they have, new lights this year. It's going to be another fun year out here.
Yeah, they always continue to improve, even the little things, like you said, the lights. I actually got to see those at graduation time when I was out here, and I got to see how they're going to add some blue and some red in, and I'm sure they'll do some really cool things during the football season with those. But yeah, it's always exciting coming out here and talking to Coach Wallach and the staff and just seeing how things are going to be. Obviously, a program that's had a lot of success over the years, and I'm always just anxious to see, what are some new faces and some new players that we might get to see after another successful graduating class.
After when we got here, we were watching practice a little bit. I walked up to Coach Wallach. I'm like, who's that? Who's that? I don't know who that is. Who's that? A lot of new faces, like you mentioned. So It's going to be fun to learn the new names and the numbers and the kids here on the Hill that come out and play. This community supports them as well as anybody in the area. So it's going to be a lot of fun for the Garaway Pirates this year. And we'll talk with head coach Jason Wallach coming up right after this with Big Z Sports. Welcome back to Garaway High School on the Hill in Sugar Creek. Joe Geckler joined by Garaway head coach Jason Wallach. And Coach, it's been a year since we've done this, almost. 25 years at the helm here on the Hill in Sugar Creek. And do you still have that same energy as year one?
I do, but my body doesn't. So, no, yeah, I love the game, obviously. We say it all the time. It's the greatest game in the world, limited opportunities to play it. And, love the kids, love watching these guys grow into young men, being a part of their lives and watching them develop and, become great citizens. So, the fire's there, the energy's there. The old body just is not there.
You wake up each morning and be like, why is that hurt? I didn't do anything yesterday.
That is the honest to God truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've woke up a couple times thinking, why am I so sore today? So
I get it. Coach, you have a lot of nice-looking players out here. Numbers seem to be good still here with Gary. You lost a good class, a good senior class. Every team goes through it. You lost some kids. But looking around at your team, you've got some big kids. Your offensive line's pretty much intact. Your defensive line's back. Talk to us about this team and what you expect from them.
Yeah, we lost 14 quality seniors, including a phenomenal kicker, obviously, good quarterback, some receivers, linebackers. You lose a Bronson Speedy who did a tremendous job for us. Jace Wallach obviously did a great job. Dylan Sunland, school's all-time leading rusher. Brady Geibel, had 2 great years at our starting quarterback. And so those guys are going to be hard to replace, like you said. Fortunately, we've got 4 of our 5 offensive linemen back and all 3 defensive linemen back. So that's going to be the core of our team. And, we just got to build around that and develop some skill kids. And, like you said, the numbers are great. We've got 60 kids, and we've got a really nice sophomore class, a big sophomore class. Our junior class is pretty small, and a big senior class. We have 18 seniors. So, it's been a lot of fun watching these guys grow and develop here in the off season and come back out. Like you said, our offensive line is probably the biggest line that we've had here and probably the most athletic, which is a positive. One of our most athletic lines. We had some kids lose some weight in the off season. They took that to heart, in our exit meetings and come in looking really good. So, but doesn't mean we're going to win football games, but it gives us a shot.
I want you to take the coaching hat off, put your dad hat on just for a second. This is the first year without Jace out here at practice with you. How's he doing? You do get Graham out here, though, every day with you now, your youngest. But losing Jace, I know you had a good, fun time with him the last 4 years. But how is it without Jace out here now?
Yeah, it's just different. Just like every kid, every player is different. Anyone who has multiple children know that every kid's different. And, for the last 18 years, he's been here every day at practice since, he was old enough to walk around. And it is different, and Graham's trying to fulfill that role. Sure. And Graham's been here a really long time too, but Jason's obviously a little special just because it was, my first boy and for 18 years, he's been here. So It's odd, but Graham and I have great conversations on the way to practice and on the way home from practice, and it's really brought us a lot closer together. And he's really grown up and maturing, and his body's starting to develop a little bit. So, I'm pretty excited about him and his future too. So
I did see a picture,
and he got all the brains,
okay.
so
That's
that helps a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and I did see a picture. He has gotten a little bigger. He's growing a little bit. He's pretty tall now.
He no longer looks up to mom. Well, I mean, I guess he
looks
still,
up
he
to
looks
mom,
up to mom, but looks down on mom too. So, no, yes, he's a little growth spurt here, and it's fun to be around your kids, and just it's just special having that opportunity to be out here with them every day, and
Sure.
it just makes it extra special.
Coach, looking at your schedule this year, obviously week one's the same as last year. You got to travel to Riverview, though. But 4 new opponents after that. You have Huntington Expression Prep. You have Norwayne, Zanesville, and Girard to start the first half of the season. Do you like having that many new opponents each year, or would you rather just replay what you did last year?
Well, I mean, you probably shouldn't get me started on that conversation.
Well, we talked in the offseason about how hard it was to find your schedule.
It is. It's very difficult, and not being egotistic, we've won some games, we've been successful, we've been in the playoffs, we've been in the Final Four, so teams think we're some big school that has 100 kids out here playing football. I mean, we graduated less than 70 kids the last 2 years in our senior classes, and so we're not a big school, but it's very difficult to schedule. When you're in a league that only has 5 teams that you're playing, you've got to find 5 non-league games, which is very difficult. Sure. And that's the weak part of our league right now is that we don't have more teams in it, and it makes it tough. And I know it makes it tough for more than just us. I know Ridgewood goes through the same thing, Indian Valley goes through the same thing. So 25 years ago, everybody wanted to play the Garaway Pirates,
sure.
And we didn't have problems scheduling at that point, but it is. And now you go 4 new opponents. We have no idea what to expect from them. We don't look ahead. We've had people ask us, how's Norwayne look? How's Zanesville look? How's Girard look? We'll figure that out in a couple weeks. So right now we're worried about ourselves, getting better every day. But it's difficult, and it's not fun. I envy Chip for or don't envy him, I guess, and trying to find games. And the middle school is just the same way. We have 2 teams, a 7th grade team and an 8th grade team, and finding games for those guys is difficult. It's a struggle. We just finally wrapped up our middle school schedule this week, actually. So, it's a challenge. It's going to be a chore. It's going to be a real challenge. Girard's a perennial playoff team. Zanesville's, Division III. We're Division VI. I know they've struggled a little bit, but still they're going to be a quality opponent. Obviously, Norwayne, has been a state champion. They've been in the playoffs year after year, contending every year for the Wayne County Athletic League championship. So we're going to find out real quick. Once we get through the first couple of games. No disrespect to Riverview, Expression Prep. I can't tell you. I don't know a thing about them, but then our week 3, 4, 5. You still got Indian Valley, Ridgewood. I mean. Claymont, Buddy White was talking the other night. They got 50-some kids out. They're really expecting some great things down there. Sandy Valley's always plays us tough, yep. And it'll be a challenge. It's going to be a challenging year.
You talk about in the beginning of that comment. You talked about the success of the program, and it causes problems scheduling. We were talking off the air, 6 straight Sweet 16 performances. But here's another number: 10 of the 13 years that you guys have made the playoffs, Sweet 16 or better.
Yeah, well, 10 of the last 13 years we've been in the playoffs, and every one of those we've made it to the Sweet 16 or better. So it's not like we're just getting in. We've made some noise. We haven't broke through that ice. Obviously, we made the Final Four 2 years ago. But, we want to be the next Tuscarawas County team to win a state title, and it gets difficult. It's a challenge. But, yeah, we've and I don't think about those things. Obviously, we're talking off air, and I have to get out my phone and look at our past year-to-year history just sure. to see where we're at. But, yeah, 10 of the last 13 years we've been in the Sweet 16 and or better in 6 in a row. So be a great challenge for us this year to keep that streak alive.
Absolutely. And Coach, obviously 25 years here at Garaway. I'm going to ask you point blank, how many you got left?
Not many.
Not many.
Not many.
You got
No.
10, you got 10 years left?
Not a shot.
Not a shot.
Not a shot.
You can't get to 35 years.
Not a shot.
Oh.
No, I am not a lifer. I enjoy what I do. I love being around the kids. Yeah, no, we'll see what happens here the next couple of years. But it's.
But
like
you are the dean of the coaches, though.
Well, Dan Ift was the dean for a long time too, but he finally got realized that it was time to hang it up too, and very, very successful. That's not a disrespect to Dan Ift, but Dan was one of those guys that coached for a really long time. Jim Morris has coached for a really long time. Buddy White has coached for a really long time, and I am not that guy. So we'll see what happens here in the next couple of years, but. You know what? I am very blessed with a very supportive community, a great administration, a coaching staff that keeps me doing this.
Sure.
They don't miss a beat when I'm not out here on the field. I get called away at times to do things at the school and do my real job.
Sure.
And I don't worry about what goes on up here on the hill because I've got some tremendous coaches that have been with me for a really long time, and we've got a couple new guys that are phenomenal coaches. McGuire Morris is doing an absolutely phenomenal job, brings college experience. He played in college, coached in college. Ryan McVicker has brought a lot of energy and is doing a great job for us. He'll be a senior at Mount Union, but he's student teaching for us. So we encouraged him to come out, and he's done a tremendous job. And I just mentioned those two because those are the two new guys on staff. Everybody else is back. Coach Miller, Coach Elmore, Coach Yasik, Coach Hostetler. Coach Quarter still comes out and runs our scout team. I mean, we're lucky. Chad, my brother, this is his 7th year with us, which is crazy.
I don't
hard
see
to believe.
him though. Where
he is currently on a Zoom meeting for his real job. So he's in the coach's office. He'll be back out on the field. But right now he's in on a Zoom meeting. So we've got everybody pretty much intact. Joel decided that he's going to tie the knot and get married. So he's now living down in Newark. And Coach Forsey, much like Coach Eft, was finally smart and retired and is going to enjoy the rest of his career and his life and doing different things. So,
for sure.
Yes, very blessed, very blessed.
Well, Coach, we'll let you get back at it. We appreciate the time. The hospitality you give us out here, we appreciate it. And you got some work to do before the scrimmage on Saturday and of course, the season here in a couple of weeks. But as always, thanks for letting us come out.
Hey, anytime. Like I always say, I really appreciate what you guys do and what you do for the entire county, the community, local schools, area schools. These kids really enjoy, watching your highlights and doing those things and when you cover our games. And it makes it special for them. I know we had that conversation, quite a few years ago, that the little schools in the area don't necessarily get a lot of coverage. And that has changed because of what you guys do. And we greatly appreciate it. I know the other coaches in our league appreciate it. And, thanks a lot, and look forward to the silver anniversary.
Absolutely. That's head coach Jason Wallach in his 25th year here on the Hill in Sugar Creek. Big thanks to Jason Wallach, the head coach for the Garaway Pirates, joining us here on our two-a-day segment. The Garaway Pirates, always brought to you by Eagle Machinery. Joe Geckler, Adam Seweski back with you, wrapping up. And Coach Wallach did mention all his coaches there as he was wrapping up, and he did forget he has a Hall of Famer on his coaching staff, and that's Dave Shutty. And Dave Shutt, he didn't mean to forget you, but I picked it up for you. But the Hall of Famer Dave Shutt here as well as on the coaching staff for the Garaway Pirates. But man, Coach is, he stands around, he yells a couple times, he blows his whistle, and like they said the other night, he's the dean, so he has all his coaches working hard for him, and, he does great things out here, and he has such a great coaching staff, and they do well, and he's excited about this year. New faces, like he said.
He is, and 25 years, that's some of the perks you get after being at the helm for 25 years. You can sit there and maybe just hit the button on the camera and, make sure everything's being done the way that these guys know how to do it, and he knows the proof's in the pudding. The success they've had, he knows that his staff can handle it, and like I said, it's he's deserved that right to be in that role that he is now.
Absolutely, like you said, he hits the button on the camera to stop that, stops the music, all from down here though. So
Yes,
that's the nice thing about Coach Wallach being around. Always welcomes us with open arms here at Big Z Sports, and always has.
Yep.
And we appreciate that from Coach Wallach. Again, wrapping up our two-a-day segment here on the hill in Sugar Creek, and we'll have another segment for you coming up tomorrow at our next stop with Big Z Sports.